Lewis Hamilton completed the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring with Ferrari by securing a solid and convincing fourth-place finish, which currently stands as his best Sunday race result of the 2025 Formula One season so far. This performance matches his previous achievement at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. It was an encouraging and promising showing for the seven-time Formula One world champion, who expressed satisfaction and optimism regarding the progress made by the Italian team from Maranello, particularly after the introduction of the new floor on the Ferrari SF-25 single-seater. This new component was introduced for the very first time at the Spielberg circuit. The Maranello-based Formula One team confirmed a clear and significant improvement over its most direct rivals, positioning itself as the second strongest team of the Spielberg race weekend. However, it still remained behind a McLaren team that unfortunately continues to be out of reach in terms of outright performance. The gap to George Russell's Mercedes W16 car, which is a direct competitor to Ferrari in the Constructors Championship standings, was notable and indicative of the effective development path undertaken. Lewis Hamilton underlined how crucial it was to maintain and strengthen this trajectory of performance improvements. Lewis Hamilton stated that the Maranello team had made tangible progress and described it as a positive development to witness. Reflecting on his weekend, the seven-time world champion was left to praise the improvement in terms of one-lap pace, but he was not completely delighted with the race performance, especially compared to his Maranello teammate. He thanked everyone in the Ferrari squad and said he was genuinely grateful to all the members of the team. According to the British driver, taking a forward step was a positive achievement, and Ferrari had clearly been the second fastest team on track during the Austrian Grand Prix weekend. He credited this competitive level to the hard work and dedication of those who contributed to this level of performance. In the qualifying session at the Red Bull Ring, Lewis Hamilton narrowly missed out on securing a better position on the starting grid. He explained that a small issue during his final flying lap had cost him approximately 1/10 of a second. But even this minor setback was a sign of the progress being made, as the team was very close to the front. The former Mercedes man acknowledged that he was still experiencing some challenges with the car during the race, but overall, the team was closer to the front than usual, which he saw as a very good and promising sign. Among the areas that still require improvement, the seven-time world champion highlighted two specific issues that emerged during the race: persistent understeer in high-speed corners and ongoing problems with the braking system. Lewis Hamilton explained that the brakes continued to pose a problem, which he had to manage carefully throughout the race, and the understeer was also particularly frustrating in fast corners. Nevertheless, he felt the team was closing the gap to the front runners, which gave him confidence and motivation looking ahead to the upcoming Grand Prix on the Formula One calendar. The fourth-place finish at the Austrian Grand Prix, held at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, also served as an important confidence boost, especially after a series of difficult and challenging races. Lewis Hamilton had previously achieved a victory during the sprint race held in Shanghai, China, but in full-length Sunday races, his best result remained the fourth-place finish at the Imola circuit in Italy, now equaled by the Austrian result. This outcome confirmed a positive and productive Sunday for the British driver, one that he hopes to build upon and consolidate in the upcoming race weekends. The ongoing development and fine-tuning work on the Ferrari SF-25 single-seater remains a central theme for the rest of the current season, and Lewis Hamilton appears to be fully aware of the significant role he can play in supporting the team and contributing to the car's overall growth and competitiveness. He emphasized the need for the team to keep pushing hard and to stay aggressive, stating that he truly believed there was still room for further improvement and performance gains. According to Lewis Hamilton, the potential is there, and it is essential to keep moving forward. The performance gap with the McLaren Formula One team, however, remains evident. Neither Lewis Hamilton nor Charles Leclerc had the race pace to pose a threat to the McLaren duo of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, who completely dominated the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix weekend without facing serious challenges from any other competitors. Despite this, Ferrari's overall approach during the Austrian weekend was strong and consistent, with both Ferrari drivers finishing in the top four and the team delivering a more competitive and convincing weekend compared to rivals Mercedes and Red Bull Racing. During the race, there was a brief but notable disagreement between Lewis Hamilton and his race engineer Riccardo Adami concerning pit stop strategy. The Italian engineer on the Ferrari pit wall insisted that the driver return to the pits to switch back to medium compound tires, but with 20 laps remaining, the British driver preferred to try and stay out on track, potentially aiming to chase a podium finish, which continues to elude him in his time so far with Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton had asked over the team radio whether his race pace was really that bad, explaining that the tires still felt good to him. Riccardo Adami responded by saying that pitting on that particular lap would provide the fastest overall race time and represented the best possible strategy available. The 7-time Formula One world champion pushed back once more, saying the tires were still working fine and asked how many laps were left in the race. His race engineer replied that 20 laps remained and again instructed him to box. Lewis Hamilton made a final attempt to extend his stint, stating that he did not want to stop with only 20 laps to go, while Riccardo Adami then firmly repeated, "Box now." At the end of yesterday's Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton thanked the Ferrari team for their work and their efforts. In reality, the strategy chosen was the correct one, and there was no disagreement or conflict between Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari pit wall after the events of the race, contrary to what some external commentators had speculated. The Ferrari driver's suggestions during the race were legitimate, but with tires so heavily worn, it would have been impossible for him to reach the much-desired podium, especially considering the significant difference in performance between his older tires and the fresh ones used by rival drivers. Very hot temperatures, the hottest of this weekend, played a significant role today in terms of tire management. In conclusion, there was no controversy regarding the tire change strategy, despite the fact that some news media outlets tried to portray the radio exchange between Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari pit wall as a sign of internal friction or strategic disagreement. In reality, the discussion was part of a normal decision-making process during a high-pressure race scenario, with both parties focused on achieving the best possible result. The mutual respect and alignment between Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari team remain intact, and any narrative suggesting otherwise is not supported by the facts on track. The British driver also had a relatively straightforward race, never really able to challenge his teammate, but he was able to escape from Mercedes driver George Russell after their intense battle on the opening lap. The Maranello-based team collected a total of 27 points from the Austrian Grand Prix weekend, allowing them to reclaim second place in the Formula One Constructors Championship standings. This strong result marks an important step forward for the Italian squad as they continue their development path. Attention now turns to the upcoming round of the season, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. The event carries special significance, as it will not only be the home race for 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, but also his very first appearance at Silverstone as a Ferrari driver, adding further anticipation and emotion to the historic race.